Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe. This beautiful Sunday morning, December 6, 2020. Let's take a deep breath together. Inhaling and exhale. Continue to breathe in and out slowly, fully. Relaxing the body, relaxing the mind. Opening our hearts, opening our minds as well, preparing ourselves for this experience together. Keep breathing in and out, knowing and affirming that breath is life, and life is breath. And that a symphony of a million things has happened in the days and weeks leading up to today to bring us all together for this time that we will enjoy. Continue to breathe, unpacking and releasing all that does not serve us, letting go of distractions, letting go of everything outside of the core that we are, letting go of everything but love and peace, harmony, abundance, letting go of lack and limitation, letting go of drama, letting go of everything that calls us away from the peace that we are. And just breathe. Dropping into our heart space, that place where our awareness of the divine is heightened. Where our awareness of our own divinity is heightened. And we remember truly who we are. We remember where we come from. We remember that we are creators, one with the Creator. Continue to breathe deeply, feeling your oneness with all of humanity, with all sentient beings, with all of nature. And that we too are part of this beautiful rhythm of life. Continue to breathe deeply, continuing to relax and release. And settling into that groundedness, settling into that foundation that is divine intelligence. Just breathe. Just be. Just be. And now we enter into our centering song, Spirit's Prayer, with hearts full of gratitude.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore.
Now, in a spirit of peace and love, we bless all the children of the world. Together, children of light, we see you guided and directed by an inward spirit that leads you into the path that is right for you. We see you strong and whole. We see you blessed and prospered. We see you courageous and confident. We see you as the spiritually perfect beings you truly are. Children of light, we bless you. And our inspiration moment today is from the Unity's Daily Word, and the word is peace. The light of God shines within all people. I pause to remember this truth as I consider the world and my relationship to it. Jesus said, "Peace I leave you, my peace I give to you." The same divine light that lived in Jesus is shining brightly in me. My peace is a gift I choose to give to the world. I bless the world by affirming, the kingdom of God is among us, here and now. It is through this Christ-centered awareness that I project a consciousness of peace. I live, move, and have my being in the light, love, and peace of God. I expand my awareness of divine ideas through prayer and meditation, and I do my part to uplift the consciousness of the entire planet. I am walking in the light of God, and I am at peace. The nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. That's from Revelations chapter 21, verse 24. Let's repeat together 3 times our affirmation for today. Together, peace flows through me and blesses the world. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. Peace flows through me and blesses the world. Good morning.
Here. Thank you, Saxy. I should say that on the way out. Like, thank you, Saxy. Thank you. Thank you. So I wrote this song about being with a dear friend, and we went to Europe together, and then we just had the great adventures, and just being together, but in a beautiful place, and really appreciating every moment. And so when I got back, this is what came out of it, and it's called Streets of Gold, and it's just the metaphor of that wherever we are, when we're with people we care about and that care about us, it's a street of gold. So. I'll be there, waiting for you to come through that door. The things we'll do, walking through streets made of gold, 1,000 years old. Your hand I will hold. Cobblestones take us home. Anywhere we won't care, 'cause lovers know which way to go on streets made of gold, 1,000 years old. My hand you will hold. Streets of gold. 'Cause lovers know which way to go on streets made of gold, 1,000 years old. My hand we will hold. 'Cause each step we take is treasure we make. So let's just roam on streets of gold. Streets of gold. Thank you very much. Thank you.
After my mother passed away, we had to move all of her belongings out of her apartment, and they went into our garage. And because we did all this moving pretty quickly, 1/3 of the garage, from probably floor to ceiling, was all of her belongings. And it took up the length and width of that space. And for many months, I walked past that wall of belongings and things that were my mother's and could feel the weight of it. The emotional weight of it, the physical weight of it, how it took up so much space, not just physically, but it seemed to take up space in my heart as well. And it was just, literally, it was close to the ceiling. Boxes on top of things. We had a few things in bags but most of it was in boxes. And so it just felt like this big structure that was in the garage. And I would say for at least 6 months, I walked by it trying to pretend it wasn't there. But felt the weight of it every time I drove into the garage or got in the car to leave the house. And I just perceived its presence. It had a presence. And when I knew it was time to take care of it and to start venturing into all of that stuff, many, many years and decades of belongings and memorabilia and things from the house and things my mother lived with and used, I knew that I wasn't ready at first to dive into it, and so I left it there. It wasn't a priority for a while. But then, at some point, I started to feel an urgency to get to it. I started to feel that it was time, that in the order of things of my life, that wall of stuff was now mine to do. And I remember the day I decided I was going to do that. I woke up in the morning and I said, this is it. This is the time. And so I got my phone, and I have a case that I wear, and I can strap it around my arm, and I have my headphones in, so I had music playing, and I brought something to drink out there. I had my big cup of water, and I was all dressed up in my gardening stuff because I knew I was going to get dusty and dirty and everything else. And I had a big thing for trash, and I had another section where I was going to have stuff to donate. And then there would be things that I would keep and probably distribute amongst family members, things like that. So I had a plan for how I was going to go through this. And I must have stayed in the garage 8, 9 hours or more, putting things in order, getting things in order, touching things that were my mother's, going through things I hadn't seen in years, things that brought up memories. So there was tears, there were laughter, there were pictures I hadn't seen, and I would think, oh, I hadn't seen that in a long time. It's nice to see that. And then I would have my emotions around that, and stuff would just flow out of me. A couple of times I would take pictures of things and send them to my niece or other members of the family so we could all have these memories and this journey together. And some of those items I got rid of right away. I drove to the Salvation Army and I started donating to the Salvation Army instead of going to others, because the Salvation Army is a place where my mother volunteered, and that was an organization that was important to her. So I donated a lot of things to the Salvation Army, and the car was just loaded down from the front to the back and on the front seat and on the floor and everywhere. And I would drive and give things away. And then I had stuff that I had recycled and things that I didn't know what they were, and I figured, why'd she keep this? I mean, what is this stuff? So there were things that I knew to throw out or put in bulk trash or something like that. Many things that I would look at and say, gee, I wish I did know the meaning attached to this, because these were things that she saved that had meaning for her, and I didn't know what that meaning was for some of them. So I would just kind of register things like that. But I kept going through this ordering of things, and I kept a box of things. I would say, okay, I know I want to give this to my brother. I know I want to give this to my niece. I have a cousin who might love this, an aunt who might love this. And some of those things I gave away right away, and I would mail them to them or send it to them. Some things I held on to because I knew I wanted to share them with somebody, but I didn't quite know who that was yet. So I would put those things in the closet, waiting for the time when I knew what was the right thing to do with those particular items. So in the beginning, I saw order in the disorder in my garage. and things became ordered within me. My emotions I was able to have some order with them. Some of my grief was dispelled. Some of my joy and some of the memories came back. And I got a chance to live and be in those. And that all seemed to be a part of the order. I saw all of that clearing as part of the order of grieving for me, for my mother, mourning her, honoring her. And so it wasn't just about cleaning out the garage and making space and finding physical order. I realized that there was an emotional order to that process of cleaning out. And that actually, rather than giving myself a hard time for ignoring that mountain of belongings for so long, I realized that there was a time for the clearing out. That there was order in the time that I decided to do that. And I was grateful that I waited that long because it did give me time to really do justice to a lot of the belongings. And I really could think and be clear about what should I keep and what do I give away. And I didn't judge any of it because there were things wasn't sure why I couldn't give them away yet, like her scarves. She had a box of scarves that she wore. And a lot of them were things that I probably would not wear, but for some reason, scarves felt personal. And so I saved them in a box and I put them in the closet. And every once in a while when I would talk to somebody and I would say, I think she needs a scarf. And I would go in that closet and pick one of my mother's scarves and send it to that particular person. And then we would have an experience together when they got it and they called me and they were in tears saying, oh my gosh, you sent me one of your mother's scarves. This is just so personal, so lovely. My mother collected angels. So she had angel statues. She probably had about 30 of them. A couple of them I kept, but I knew that I wanted to send those angels to specific people in my mother's life and in my life. And slowly, probably it took me about probably 2 years to disseminate those angels at a particular time, in a particular order, with the right people. I have 2 left, and I now know who they're going to. Most of us think of order, and we talk about divine order as if there is an entity that orders things for us. Somebody who says, well, do this now, do this later, I think you should have this, I'm going to bless you now. No, I got to bless you later because you didn't quite do this the way I wanted you to do it. You get grace, you don't get grace, you're not good enough, you didn't pray enough. So their divine order is not about somebody pulling strings, meeting things out, and telling you when to do things. Order is one of those 12 powers, 12 divine powers that we have, where we order things in our lives to create harmony. That we get to adjust, we get to decide when things happen. Order is ours to give. It's a gift for our lives. Order is very closely tied to the power of love because love is about harmony. And when we order things in our lives, we create harmony in our life. Now, part of being in that garage didn't feel harmonious when I was in there. I mean, dust was flying, I'm sneezing, and I'm all over, it's all over my hands. I mean, yes, it didn't feel pretty at the time. But now I can look back and I know how perfect that process was of clearing out those things over the 3 or 4 years it took me to clear through them. And the magic that happened during that process, that long process of going through those things. created a harmony for me that I did not feel when I was looking at the mountain of things stacked up in my garage from floor to ceiling. But yes, there was order, and that I knew when it was time to do it. There was the order. There was the beauty. It needed to sit there until I was ready to handle it. My soul knew when it was time. And I trusted that I knew that it was time. And I trusted that there were some things that needed to stay and some things that needed to go. So it was a long process. And sometimes life is a long process. Sometimes we use order within a moment of time in our day. You decide you want to get something done, and then something else happens, and then you have to reorder. That's your power of order, to say, I'm going to shift. Order is the power to adjust in life. Survival of the species, it's not always the strongest that survive. It is the species that can adjust that survives and thrives. Resilience, that is order. Being able to sway and adjust with the times, with the situation, with whatever is in front of us. Life itself, creation is order. The way things come into manifestation is order, because first things are in divine mind. First there is mind, then there's an idea, then it manifests. It can't happen any other way. Every single thing that you see on the planet that has been created by man came first by divine mind, then an idea, and then it manifested. Order is everywhere in our lives. A master gardener has order in mind, knows how to prepare the soil first before planting. Pruning is order. There's a time to prune. There's a time to plant for best results. You can prune any time. You can do anything at any time, but not always for best results. And so we're given this order, this power of order for best results in our lives, our daily living. The body, our human body, this magnificent thing that we live in that houses most of who we are, most of what we are, survives and thrives in order. Every single thing that we do, your body has got a million different processes that are reordering in response to what you're thinking, to what you're feeling, what you're seeing, and what you're doing. The lights come on, stuff is happening in your body to adjust to that. A million different things are happening in your body. You eat something, a million different things have to happen in a particular order in order for you to eat that food, have it break down and become energy in your body so that you can perform some kind of physical act. Order, order, order. All of life is order. There's a natural rhythm to life. The seasons is order. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Winter doesn't jump in the middle of spring. Well, if you live in Texas, it does. But Texas is different, isn't it? So there's an order to life. An order to the tides, to the seasons, to what happens with the moon and the planets. All of it is order. But it's our power to yield and to harness. You get to say what happens. Now, sometimes we can fall short of order, and that's when we have clutter all over in our lives, in our home, in our closets. That's what the junk drawer is in the kitchen. Disorder. You throw it in there because you don't know where else to put it. My garage goes through seasons of order and disorder. So for months, probably for about 3 months, I just put stuff in the garage because I don't know what to do with it right away, or something else has got to happen. And then at the end of about 3-4 months, I'm like, oh, can't stand it anymore. And then I start to go through that process. What do I donate? What do I throw away? Bulk trash is next week. Got to get it outside by a certain day. Some things I want to keep. It belongs on a shelf. Break down those boxes that come from Amazon every week. Get those in recycling. So the order and disorder in our lives. Hoarders have lost, are disconnected from their power of order. And usually what happens, hoarding is not just a physical thing, it's usually the result of some kind of psychological or emotional trauma. And what has to happen first before they can deal with the physical hoarding is first they have to deal with the emotional or mental problem before they can get there. So there's order in cleaning that up. There are psychologists that specialize in hoarding. It is a disorder. Hoarding is a dis-ease of the heart and the mind. And it manifests in stuff being in someone's house from floor to ceiling. But first, before they can do something with the physical, they have to go in and deal with the emotional and the mental issue first. And then, so things have to be done in order. Divine mind, idea, and then you can deal with the hoarding itself. We can go overboard with order. Ooh, I was there. First 30, 35 years of my life, everything had to be in its place. I would 2 centimeters off, get that thing right there. And if you touch that coaster, you better fix it. I should have had a support group. Perfectionism 101. You come to my house, I'll teach you how to be a perfectionist. Yes. Yes, I was just crazy with that. It drove me batty. Everything had to be in this order. I would see something on the other side of the room, said, that's not quite right. And it would bug me until I went over there and fixed it. Yes. Drove me to distraction. So I had to come back to the middle of the road. Life is so much more peaceful. I have so much more harmony now that I'm not driven crazy by the coaster on the table being 2 centimeters off. See, they're feeling my pain. Obviously, we need a group here. We need a perfectionist support group here in this room. Yes. But that had to do with my need for control and order. I let go of that when I didn't have to control everything in my environment to feel good and peaceful. So there's order. And then there's, I need help. When I can just let it go.
There's order and then there's overboard.
Yeah, there's order and then there's overboard, yes. So our need for order sometimes can get way out of whack. We need to come back to the middle where there's peace and where there's harmony. And where you know what the priority is. So I knew the fact that coaster's not in the exact position it needs to be is in a different place in my life right now. I can have peace without the coaster shifting. I didn't before. As silly as it sounds, and we all laugh. But yes, I was driven to distraction by something like that. But now I know that peace is within me. I can get things in order because first, order, I know, is me. I needed the coaster to be right because this was not. in order. I had not attended to me. And so in order for me to be more peaceful, I had to get my stuff together so the physical stuff did not govern how peaceful I was. Order in our lives. It's a power that we harness. When you're in a courtroom and everybody's talking, the judge gets the gavel, hits the desk, and says, "Order in the court." And everybody is quiet. And if you're not, you're expelled. You're held in contempt. But the judge wants order so that the things that need to happen in the courtroom can happen as they're supposed to happen. And we need to have peace within the room in order for that to happen, so that everybody can hear what needs to be heard. You are the judge in life. You are the one that has the gavel that gets to say, "Order in this court right here, right now." Order in my finances. Order in my home. Order in my list of things to do. How many times do you have a list of things to do and something happens and the list goes up in the air? And then what do? So you can either go crazy, like me, distracted by the coaster, or you can say, time to reorder, time to shift, time to shift. I'm the one who has the power. I get to shift right now, or I can let this little minor nuisance, whatever it is, it can become something big. And I can let it throw off my entire day. I was reading an article about T.D. Jakes again. He's somebody I follow pretty closely. But he was talking about technology, but I think this is a great quote for all of life. He was saying that in order for a business to be successful, in the way technology is these days, and everything is governed by technology, if you're not ready to get on board with technology, then you're going to be sunk in business. You got to deal with it. And he said, you can either scream at the darkness or you can light a candle. Scream at the darkness or light a candle. I think that's how order is. I can either scream at the stuff in my garage or I can light a candle and get to it. And get quiet for a moment. And let my inner core, my soul, my divinity tell me what's right and what should be done right here, right now. What goes to who? To what person? And if I don't have an idea, if divine mind has not made it clear to me where something goes, I don't fret about it. I leave it be and I put it somewhere until I know what's right. Order. Trust what your inner core is telling you. Because if you rush into the fray too soon, then you have disorder again. I was famous for that. I don't have a clue what to do. Oh, so I'll do this. Well, that's smart. I don't really have a plan, but I just feel like something needs to be done. So, okay. And then I pick something out of the air and I do something. And I've usually just driven the situation into the ditch. Order. Order. What's supposed to happen now? And so with this power of order, you get to ask the question for yourself. If you don't know, stop and ask. What should happen right now? Get quiet with yourself like we do in the beginning of service and tap into that inner core, that divinity that is you, and ask, what now? And if it's time now for something, you'll hear it, you'll know it. Now I know and I trust enough that if I don't hear something to do, I do nothing. Or I keep doing what I'm doing at the moment. Keep doing it the way I'm supposed to do it. Do it the way I'm currently doing it until my inner core tells me something different. That's the power of order at work. all the time when I did not trust that voice that said, now is the time, I jumped into the fray, did something different, and then I was in the midst of disorder again, disharmony in my life or in a relationship, because most likely it was about whether or not to open my mouth. That was my thing. When to say something. And I could hear saying, nope, don't say anything, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Don't. And my rational mind is saying, but I got something real good to say right now. I got a comeback. The comeback of all comebacks is right here, and I want to say that. And for many years, I would just let them fly, because whatever I wanted to say was right at the back of my teeth, feeling like it was going to punch out my teeth, because I had to say it. And I would let it fly, and what happened? Disorder, this lack of harmony. And now when I hear, just be quiet, I'm quiet, even if it hurts the back of my teeth. Because I want to let it fly. Because there's a part of me that wants to plunge in and do something out of order. Tough love, I believe, is a way of order. That yes, I love my child, or I love this particular person, this person that I'm guiding in life, but maybe it is time for discipline instead of something else. Yeah. Love is about order and harmony. What to do now, what to say now, what not to say. Your GPS is about order. And I love when I'm going somewhere and I've got my GPS on, I want to stop quickly and do something, or I want to stop and get gas, or I want to stop and buy something to drink. And my GPS is saying, stay on the route, return to the route, return to the route, return to the route, return to the route. And he's still talking. Return to the route, make a U-turn at this street. And of course I'm talking back, no, because I'm going here. I'm just going to stop there and then get back on the road. We're having a conversation. And he's just saying, return to the route, return to the route, return to the route. Return to the route. You're out of order. We're not going in order. You asked me for a route. I gave you a route. Yes, your GPS is in order. You have an inner GPS that orders your life. And sometimes your soul is telling you to do one thing and you're off in the corner doing something else. And you know when your soul is telling you, get back on the route, get back on the route, get back on the route. Right? We hear it all the time. Order, order, order. Our bodies are always seeking order. Your mind is always seeking order. Your soul is always seeking order for you, for me, and we don't always listen. There's so much to be gained by listening and then heeding. To get in the order of things. It's a huge, useful power that every single day it's happening and things are going there, but we're just tuned out. And we hear the inner GPS saying, recalculating, recalculating, recalculating. Do this, okay? You just stepped in and did something different, so now I got to get you over here to get this relationship that you want to be in harmony, to get you to that goal. So you said something you weren't supposed to say. Your soul said, don't say that, and you said it anyway. And you drove a wedge into that relationship for a moment. And so then your soul guides you somewhere else to say, okay, now I got to fix that. Let's fix that. So now we need to do this, or this needs to happen, or this amount of time needs to pass in order for things to heal and for people to deal with whatever was said and whatever happened as a result of that. There's always consequences to every action, to every thought. And then you get back in order, and then the harmony is there. And we do, don't we know? We think and say, oh, if I hadn't said that, I probably would have, that relationship would have been fixed a whole lot sooner. Haven't we all been there? Getting out of order. So again, it's not a power that some entity is wielding and pulling the strings. You were born with an inner GPS, a way to put things in order, to create harmony in your life. What do you do when you first get up in the morning? Do you have a morning ritual that sets your day in order? Every morning I get up and I meditate and I work out. And then I have a great breakfast. And it sets up my day. And when I get away from that ritual, I always know. I always know. I'll think, oh, I would feel better right now if I know right now I didn't stretch this morning. My back is telling me you didn't stretch this morning. That's part of your routine. So I feel a little uncomfortable. My body right now, as I stand here and as I sit, is trying to readjust a million different ways because I did not stretch this morning. And I'm used to stretching every day, so my inner GPS is saying, recalculate, recalculate. Go in the room real quick and stretch your back so that you can feel more comfortable. Yet if I had stayed in my morning ritual this morning, I wouldn't be feeling this right now. I got out of order. I got out of order. My body wants harmony right now. It's screaming. It was screaming a little louder earlier. It was screaming for harmony. I had created a situation by stretching every day to create physical harmony. And now that I'm out of it a little bit, my body's saying, recalculating, recalculating. When are you going to stretch? When are you going to stretch? When are we going to do this? But I had decided there was something else that was more important this morning, rather than taking probably 5 minutes of stretching would have been enough to soothe my body. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Order. The root of the word order means row or arrangement. Row or arrangement. Are you stacking up those rows? What comes first? What comes next? What's third? What's fourth? Something gets in the way. Okay, now this has to be second. That has to be fourth. I need to pull this in and do this now because I just lost time. Order, order, order is yours to wield, to bring harmony to your life. How badly do you want harmony right now? How badly do we need harmony in our world right now? And what needs to get in order? What's happened? What got out of order that needs to be fixed in order for us to have harmony now in our lives? And again, it's got to come first from divine mind to an idea into manifestation. And a lot of what I see is we're just running around trying to do stuff rather than stopping to really think about what needs to be fixed first. What's first? What's the priority here? The species that can adjust is the species that survives and thrives. Strength, real strength is resilience. So you're the judge. Declare order in the court in your life. And you decide what has to happen, when and where and how. And when life happens, reorder, adjust. You get to decide. Don't let the circumstances take you and throw you into chaos. Chaos is a perception. You get to look at whatever it is and say, I'll do this first, second, third, and fourth. And often we don't know what's second or third until you know what's first. And then you clear that away, and then you can see to what comes second. Be patient. Ask. If you hear nothing, do nothing. Stay the course. Stay the course. Trust, 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 trust what your soul is telling you. And let it create harmony in your life. Harmony, peace, like the daily word, peace. My peace I give to you. My peace. Jesus said, my peace I give to you. Not just any peace, my peace I give to you. It's a gift. So say yes to the gift. Yeah, say yes to it. And whenever things feel out of order, say yes to peace and harmony again. Say yes to order again. And say, what now? What now? And wait for the answer. And let divine mind work in you. You are connected to it. You are that divine mind. And then move. Move peacefully, gracefully into whatever situation is before you. Let's take this in a meditation. Take a deep breath in. And in your mind's eye right now, picture something that is out of order in your life. Is there a physical space? Is it your body, perhaps, feels out of order? Is it a list of things you have to do? And you're just crazy with, what do I do with this list? There's so many things I got to do, but it feels so chaotic, you do nothing. So picture something in your life that feels out of order right now and put it in front of you. See it, feel the weight of it, feel the crazy of it. Feel that disharmony, that twist in your gut when you call it to mind. Is it a relationship that's out of order? What is it? See that thing. And as you're feeling it and visualizing it, in your heart of hearts, say, peace is mine. Order is mine. In this situation with this thing, I am the master of my universe. And this, whatever it is set in order right now. Claim it. Establish the divine idea of order in that situation, in your heart and mind right now. And as you tap into that peace, and you remember that you are the executive facility, that divine mind, divine wisdom is at work in you and as you right now. Ask, what now with this thing, this situation, this relationship, whatever it is, just ask. What now? What now? And let the answer rise within you. And if the answer feels peaceful, it is the answer for what now. If it just feels right, let your heart tell you. And if you don't have an answer right now, just be and claim order in that situation in your life right now. Keep claiming order. Keep claiming and affirming that you are the master of your universe. And that peace is yours in this situation with this thing. And be grateful for whatever answer comes, whether that answer is right here in your heart right now, or whether the answer is to come when you're ready for it in the perfect time. Be grateful for whatever answer is there or is coming, because we all know when you ask, you receive. Be grateful for the answer that is there, that is now coming to you. It is making its way to your heart and mind. Say thank you for the answer. Thank you for the next step. Thank you for this newfound peace with this situation. Knowing that you have full power, everything you need in order to make that first step happen. Knowing and affirming that there can be peace where there never was peace or order before. Because you are now coming at this situation with your divinity, not with the human mind, but the strength and power that you really are. Say thank you. Say yes to peace. Say yes to peace. Say yes to harmony in all things. In all things. My peace I give you. My peace I give you. Say yes. Let's take a deep breath together. Breathing in peace and order and harmony, and breathing out peace, order, and harmony. Breathe in again. One breath, one life, one peace, one harmony, and exhale. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. So as we are steeped in peace and order and harmony, let us lift those names of those that we want to affirm peace and harmony and order in their lives. Yes. Our entire family. For Clayton. Yeah. Stephanie. For Harper. Eddie and Reba.
The doctors.
For all the tens of thousands who have received positive COVID tests and are now dealing with the disease and with diagnoses. For the Silverberg family, for the Say family. For Lola and family. For all those who are feeling disorder and a lack of harmony in their lives, we know and affirm harmony for them, knowing that there is divine order in all things. So for all of these beloved souls and for all those who are in our hearts and minds, but whose names may not have been spoken out loud, we know and affirm that there is harmony and peace at the back of all things. And we know that their highest and best is at work in their life. And we affirm this in the name and in the nature of Jesus the Christ, who is our brother and way shower. Amen. And so we claim order in our financial lives, in the abundant prosperity that flows into our lives at the perfect time. And so in that spirit, we recite our celebration of giving together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and so it is.
All right. Well, as it usually is, mostly always, as in usually means always in this realm, for some reason. This is the song I definitely was going to do today. It just so happens to coincide. I know. I don't. It's a song called "In This Life." I've played it before, but it definitely needs to be played right now. I think I'm thinking way too much. People say I'm in a rush, and nothing really gets real done. And I know that there's so much to do in this life. We save what time can erase. So maybe I'll get out of bed, set some goals, get ahead, fill this shelf with books I've read. I wonder what became of me, and what's up with this self-pity. I should focus on the love I see, 'cause I know that there's not really more in this life take what time can erase. The future is grace. In this life we face what time can erase. So maybe I'll get out of bed, build a birdhouse, bake some bread, reconsider things I've said. Ooh, Thank you. In this life. Thank you.
Let's bless our offering. We are deeply grateful for all the time, treasure, and talent that pours into this community, enabling us to do our perfect work here in this community, within these walls, within this general area, and around the planet. We are so blessed. And there is an overflowing peace and love that flows into this community that helps us to grow, helps us to shift and adjust. And yes, establish some order. Amen. So just a couple of announcements. First one, sir. So the ballots were emailed yesterday to all voting members. You got an email, and all you have to do is click on that says click here in order to send your ballot in, and an email will come up, and you just have to put your name in there and say yes or no. So it's not an either or vote. One of our board applicants is here, Pete. Yay! And Jan Collins, who I'm sure is watching, is our other applicant. So it's not an either or. You can say yes or no to both or whatever. So it's not like there's one position. We would love to take on both, but the voting members get to say what happens. So please send in your ballots. It is important. I love this time when I believe we're just in pure potentiality. We have this time now we're shifting again. Our leadership is going to shift a little bit because whenever you add new energy, something happens to the group. And so we already have this fantastic group of leaders here. Our board is just absolutely fantastic. I'm so grateful for them. And adding in new energy, I'm just so excited about what can happen with the new energy that we have in this possibility. So please cast your ballots. You have until midnight Friday in order to get those emails to me for your votes to count. And then if you would like to vote in person, you can do that next Sunday, the 13th, and we'll have a hard copy ballot for you to write yes or no on, and you can do it there. So you don't have to do it by email if you don't want to. You can actually come here, but we ask that you come no later than 10:45 a.m. before service so that we can get that done and take care of things before service starts. And then we'll let everybody know the results of that before the end of service during the announcements next Sunday. Okay? And we are shifting and moving. I'm so excited about what's happening and what's going on with this community and our leadership team. So please, it's very important. We probably have about a third of the ballots in now, and so when you're ready, the information is there. If you need to look over their applications again, please do so. The link is there, and make your decision, and let's see what happens with this next chapter in our journey together. And I think, was there one more slide, Quentin? Oh, Membership Sunday is the 20th. So if you are not a voting member, see, if you were a voting member already, you could be in on this balloting here, on this election. So if you would like to be a voting member, December 20 is our next Membership Sunday. Please email me it's letter K, Andrews at unitysaxe.org, and let me know, and then that way I can be prepared for everything and have your certificate ready on the 20th for you. And you don't have to be in the room in order to do that. We can do that remotely, so you don't have to come here and actually be in person in order to become a voting member. We'll take care of it, and I'll talk to you through the camera. Okay? And Mr. Gardenauer, our esteemed president of the board.
Wish you hadn't put it that way. Okay, I'll tell you a little story. There was an archaeologist in New York.
Ruh-roh.
He dug down 100 feet and found copper wiring and determined that 100 years ago there was phone service in New York. Not to be outdone, there was an archaeologist in California that dug down 20 feet, found copper wiring, and determined that California had phone service before New York. Well, not to be outdone, Bubba from Texas, he heard about this, so he goes out onto his property, he digs down 30 feet, he found absolutely nothing. But he determined that 300 years ago, Texans had already gone wireless. So you gotta watch those Texans, because they're gonna outdo everybody.
Hope he dug on his own property.
Yeah. So a couple things. Those of you that are watching us probably noticed when people got up, or you didn't notice, there's a little star that you get when you come in. It's one of our ways of staying safe. What we do is we take everybody's temperature, then we give them a star if they passed. If they didn't pass, we send them to the timeout room. No, we send them to the Serenity Suite, where we simulcast that way we don't have to send them home. We're still cleaning the building once a week, okay? Every room, every doorknob, everything that's touchable, we have a cleaning service that does that, and they do a really, really good job. We're really pleased with what they've been able to accomplish every week. So this is a very, very safe environment. So any of you that have been bouncing back and forth, well, do I come back or not? This would be one of the safest places, in my opinion, that you could. Even with all of the Thanksgiving and getting around other people, we don't seem to have that worry. Okay, we have put hugging to a minimum. We don't have that going on as much as we used to, but we'll get back to it. Okay, trust me, we're a hugging bunch, so we'll get back to that. The other thing is the pledge slips that we need to get back in as soon as you can. We just are trying to make up a deficit in our budget for the next year's planning. So if you haven't filled one out, fill it out. Just put it in the bowl if you're here. Put it in the bowl in the back. If you would just email Kim and let her know that this is what I'm going to up my pledge for the next year, that would be great. We're not going to start that until January 1st, but we would like to know. The third thing is the bricks. Now, I've got a deadline of next Sunday for any brick orders, okay? Because that's going to go in so we get them back in time enough to install them by the first of the year. So if you need a slip, grab one, go online, it's on the website, you can pick it and send it in. It's not going to cost you anything, which is a real interesting deal, because now you can get a brick for a loved one, or you can get a brick for a military person, and it doesn't cost you anything, and they'll be memorialized out on our walk, which is filling up fairly quick. So we're real pleased about that, that it's filling up like it is, but we want to give you the opportunity to go ahead and get a brick for someone that you may have been putting off, okay? So we want to be able to invite you to do that. So we will, hopefully, we will have it completed by the end of the year, and then we'll decide where we're going to start putting things next. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're ready for our prayer for protection. Let's recite together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now our vision and mission together. We are Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe. We are a thriving global community of spiritual seekers, transforming lives through love and the expression of our innately divine gifts. Our mission is to inspire spiritual and personal growth through the teaching and demonstration of unity principles toward the realization of living our best lives. Divine wisdom is at work in every area of our lives right now. Divine wisdom is opening ways where to our human sense there is no way. Everything is always working out for me. And now Raheem's gonna bless us as we close.
Well, you've heard this one before, but I think it's a nice one to kind of breeze out of here. A little heavy, but still I think a little uplifting too. If you have peace of mind, throw it. It's a lifeline. If you have peace of mind. Do y'all remember?
Oh, that's our part.
Let's see. If you have, well, I'm trying to remember too, but we're in this together. If you have peace of mind, show it. It's a lifeline. If you have peace of mind, know it. It's a lifeline. If you have peace of mind, grow it. It's a lifeline. If you have peace of mind, throw it. It's a lifeline. peace of mind. Know it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for spending your Sunday morning with us. It's your presence and your light and your energy that makes this place so special and so wonderful and just makes people feel good when they walk through that door. Have a glorious Sunday and a glorious week. Namaste.